Excited about our opportunity this weekend. Got a really big, talented Tennessee team coming in, a veteran group, a lot of juniors and seniors, redshirt juniors, redshirt seniors, and so they're a real big physical team. Remind me a lot in some ways of some of Pat's old teams in that they rebounded like monsters. I mean, they're just physical 1 through 5, and so we got our hands full, no question about it. We played really good the first half against Idaho and didn't play very good the second half. And that's typical when you're up 32 at half with a young, inexperienced team, not coming out and playing your best the second half after you played so well the first half. I mean, you're up 32, you're doing a lot of good things in a half. So I was proud of them for the first half. We use the second half as a learning experience. And again, we'll grow and get better from that. But just finished up practice, trying to get ready for Sunday. And again, rebounding will be something that'll be on our minds. And we're going to have to be really, really good at it. And then, the other thing is you better make a miss or you don't have to worry about rebounding. And they're big guards, 6'2", and they jump up over you. And, we don't have any 6'2" guards. So we're going to have to really be athletic and quick with our guards and try to use that to our experience. And then we got to find a way to battle with them at 4 or 5 down low as well, because they are really big and physical down there also.
All right, Danny, go ahead for the first question.
Hey, Vic, this really isn't related to Sunday's game, but I was curious, you had talked about this earlier when speaking on Lauren and just how many people you guys had on your team. And then yesterday, Oklahoma only had 6 players available for their conference opener because of some of the coronavirus protocols. So I was wondering, have you or the other coaches expressed your concerns at all to the conference about the situation you guys maybe put in with not having, because that 6 players seems kind of absurd to play an entire 40-minute game with.
Doesn't sound safe, does it, Danny? I mean, it's really, Coach Mulkey and I were actually talking about it back when they came out with the rule. I mean, neither one of us are, it's a really tough place to put us as coaches and to put our players in, but that's the rule. And so we've got to figure out a way to navigate that. But yeah, I mean, it's very difficult, especially the way we play. And I know Kim was talking about the way they play. And so it really could put a stress on your team that particular night if you have to do that.
And is the rule 6 as the minimum?
I think so.
Okay. What are your thoughts of this Tennessee team? You're obviously very familiar with them. There's some players on your team now who played them last year, so there's some familiarity there. But what are your just overall impressions of Tennessee?
Yeah, big, strong, physical team, monsters on the rebound, on the boards. Very skilled at the guard position, and they're big, they're long, and they're athletic, and they, like I said, they'll jump up over you. They get to their spots at 15 feet. It doesn't matter if you're right there with them. You got very little chance to even contest anything. You're not even going to have a high hand in their nose. They're going to be jumped up over you. So it's a real challenging team to get ready for us because of how they play the game. Kelly does a great job coaching them, and you look at them, they are big, really big, and they got bigs on the bench. They got a lot of depth with size. So kind of concerns you, with our lack of depth at 4 and 5, because they just keep rolling out the 6'5s and 6'6s and 6'4s, and obviously we can't trade them foul for foul down there.
Annie, you can keep going if you've got more questions.
Kyra, why Texas, and how has your transition been to joining this team?
Yeah, the transition's been really good. It's been a challenge at some points because of all of the changes, coronavirus, new system, new coaches. But I really feel like we've grown a lot since we started in July, and it's really great to see how we've changed and evolved over these past couple of months. Why Texas? I mean, this man knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And his coaching staff, himself, like their reputation speaks for itself. And my parents are down the street, so that's also nice. They can come and fortunately come and watch me play. Um, so yeah, just super excited about Sunday.
Go ahead, Riley.
Hi, Coach. I'm just interested. This isn't really Tennessee related, but after the Idaho game, you spoke of some of the challenges that come with coaching, especially at a place like Texas. Is there anything that you really wish that the fans knew about what goes into being a college coach, what goes in behind the scenes that they don't see that comes out on game day?
Well, first of all, just all the commitment that our student athletes make. I mean, they're in class all day, and they come over and depending on film and practice, the rest of that day might include anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. And then they got to go home at night. And, oh, by the way, we need to study. And Texas is a really difficult place academically, so we got to really study hard and study long. And we've got some kids with some real challenging degrees. And so, it takes such a commitment, Riley, really, to be a student athlete. It's just not easy. And my admiration for our student athletes is I have a great deal of it for them because I know what they go through. I know how hard it was for me. And I wasn't a student athlete past 2 years of junior college before I ran out of ability and ran out quick, by the way. And so, I get it. And, but at the same time, that student that walks in and goes, man, coach, anatomy and physiology is kicking my butt, and they're basically saying, hey, coach, can I drop this class? And I'm not a big proponent of that. And my mind goes back to, yep, I had that class 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and was glad to get out of there with a C or a D, whatever it was. And so I tell them, hey, I get it, I understand, but we got to find a way to get it done, So, I think our fans, just have an appreciation for our kids. And then the other thing I want our fans to know is I want them to really try to understand our kids. And that is a big broad scope, what I just said. Try to understand our kids and understand their lives and their lives in our world today, and understand what they go through every day, and just try to listen. I would beg our fans to just listen to my kids. They're great kids. I mean, they're wonderful young people. I love them to death, but listen to them. We all have opinions in this world, and I get that. That's part of what makes America great, and we can all have that. But just listen to our kids, my kids, and understand their lives and what they live with and deal with every day on a daily basis, and just try to have an understanding for that. And I think if they did that, I think it would benefit all of us. And you know what, if the world would do that, it'd benefit the world. So just, would encourage them to really have an open mind and an open heart to my student athletes, to my players, to my kids.
Go ahead, Danny.
Kyra, I'm a little curious about your views on leadership. You are the point guard, you are the oldest person on the team, but you're also one of the new kids. How do you kind of balance being a leader, but also, being one of the fresh faces? Do you feel like you have the place to, let your voice be heard and, be that leader that a team like this needs?
Yes, yeah, me and Coach actually just talked about this recently. It's been a challenge coming in with all of the changes like we talked about earlier, but I think that the great thing about our team is that we have leaders in different positions in different ways. So we have the people that are super vocal, super high energy. We also have the people that lead by example. We have the people that lead off the court as well. So I mean, as a point guard, yes, naturally, yes, I've been a leader and I'm continuing to try and grow in that role. But the fact of the matter is we have leaders all over the court. We just all lead in different ways.
And Danny, I'd just add to that, it's really hard. I think I've told you, we don't have a locker room. I'm not letting them go into a locker room. So we have 12 chairs out here in a coulee, in a practice gym, up against the wall, goes from one end of the court to the other. And that's kind of their locker. And they get their clothes there every day, and they come in and change in a bathroom, and then they go back out. But when you don't have a locker room, it's hard to have that camaraderie, after a tough practice or a game, and you go in there and everybody's kind of sitting around, and, they might joke about, hey, did you see Coach do this today? Boy, what was he thinking on that? Or, hey, so-and-so, don't hang your head. You did all right. It's just hard to develop that chemistry, and in those situations provide you opportunity for leadership. We're so devoid of those opportunities. The only chance they really get to have much conversation with each other is in practice. And so it's really, there is so many challenges that we face, and it's difficult, I know.
And then I have you, Vic. First, what is Ashley's status for Sunday?
Not available.
Okay. And then my next, going off of Kyra and also Joanne. Joanne's a engineering major. Kyra's obviously a grad student. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her major at Duke because I was looking at it and it seemed like 4,000 words, and I'm just going to trip over all of them. Is there a correlation between book smarts and on the court smarts and what you want to see in a point guard?
I think there's a correlation, Danny, in how kids do in the classroom and how they perform on the court, to be honest with you. I've really seen that in the last 8-9 years of my career, where our team GPA, I've had some team GPAs over the last 5-6 years, 3.44 team GPA, 3.40. And you know what? Those teams were 37-2 and 34-5, and typically in the old days, the better your team, your GPA went down. That was in the old days. It's not the case anymore. I've seen where, it's really opposite. So I think, obviously this one's really intelligent. Audrey, you can watch Audrey play. She's really smart. She knows what the other team's going to do. She beats them to the spot a lot and gets run over quite a bit, but that's because she's smart. She understands the game and she understands what other people are trying to do. So I think you're right, exactly right, that there is a big correlation, I think, between the two. And again, it's real important in our program here at Texas that you are accountable in the classroom as well.